Well, good evening. I want to thank everybody who's here tonight, this Thursday evening, for another one of our Family Promise of the Verdugos Money Matters workshops in a long-running series now on personal finance, financial literacy, making smart money decisions, and personal finance. Tonight, we're going to be talking about possibly changing jobs. If recently you've been looking for a new job, if you're considering maybe moving from your current job into a different position, or maybe you're thinking of maybe jumping to a different career field, or you've had these different thoughts about switching jobs, changing jobs, finding a new job. What are going to be some of the financial factors to consider before you actually make that change, before you take on that new job, before you make that switch? Last session, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about starting a side hustle and generating passive income while you're at home. Now, what we want to look at is something a little bit more serious, and thinking about our sort of full-time jobs. Maybe it's even you're thinking of adding a part-time job onto what you are already doing. If you're considering making that switch in the short term, maybe you're trying to set yourself up for the new year. Here's some things to think about. And sometimes when it comes to making that change, when it comes to making that switch, you know, the grass, is it really greener on the other side? And that's sort of what I want to talk about tonight, is weighing what are the factors that we're going to have to consider if we're going to make that change. And sometimes we can have what's called paralysis by analysis, meaning that sometimes we get frozen, we get stuck, sort of doing what we've always done because we're so used to it. And even if it's not the best job situation, even if we know we're being undervalued, we may be underpaid, we may be in not the most healthy work environment, maybe we're up against a lot of stress and anxiety, we sort of continue to do what we've always done because we know what we're going to get, right? It's okay, it's not that bad. I'll just continue to deal with it. Because I'm afraid of making that change. I think it's just sort of as part of human psychology and human behavior that we face these kinds of fears when it even comes to our job. Is there something better out there for me that is going to help, one, my financial situation, and then two, help me feel fulfilled in what I do on a daily basis, right? So when it comes to leaving your current job for a new one, how can we tell beforehand if the opportunity that we're looking at is really worth it, right? So I don't think all of us just say, well, we just want to get a new job or switch jobs just because. And sometimes we do say, well, I want to switch jobs or get a new job because I need to make more money. That's definitely a part of it. We sometimes need to increase the level of resources that we have. But it's also about some other factors too, that ultimately translate into sort of the same benefits that money provides. Because if we're overworked and underpaid and we're not healthy and we're stressed out, if we're not feeling fulfilled, all of those sort of work together in our overall experience. And so, you know, we want to think sort of big picture here, right? What would be what we should be looking at when we make this job change? Okay, so there's always going to be risk involved, but I think if we think through these 9 sort of areas, I think you'll be better prepared if you are considering this, whether that's going to happen soon or later. So let's start walking through this. The first thing that we should always think about when we're looking at a potential new job is what kind of flexibility do I need? And what kind of flexibility will the job offer? Right. So, especially coming out of the pandemic and sort of seeing how work has changed during COVID, I think we came to the realization that for a lot of us, whether we're in service industries, whether we're in tech, whether we're spending a lot of time doing administrative work, a lot of that can be accomplished from home. And I know that a lot of companies are wrestling with this right now. And you may face this if you're looking for a new job, is what are going to be the criteria for you doing your work? Does it mean you have to come into an office? Does it mean you could work from home? For some people, working at home, that flexibility is a great thing. For others, sometimes it's sort of difficult. They're not as productive. They don't get as much done. It's more difficult to do their kind of job if they're not in the office space. So many employees can work from home, I mean, just as efficiently as they would at the office. And there are a lot of companies right now who are vowing to continue to let people either work partially or permanently from home. And there are other companies, though, who have said, no, look, as soon as we can get workers back in to the office, as soon as we can get workers back into the warehouse, wherever the location is, we're going to get them here. That's partly due to being able to control productivity, being able to control, tasks, job tasks. And then also, too, so many companies have invested so much money in actual physical real estate for office space, for manufacturing, that we need our workers to use all of this equipment. We need our workers to use this real estate. So when you're thinking about a new job, think about the flexibility. Am I going to be able to work from home? Am I going to have flexible hours? Can I get my work done and not have to necessarily be in a 9 to 5? Can it be a different sort of structure that is a better fit for what I'm currently doing? So maybe you have commitments for family. Maybe you're taking care of aging parents. Maybe you have kids that you need to get to school. Maybe you're dealing with, or your family members are dealing with, health concerns, and they make frequent visits to the doctor's office for prescription medication. All of this is rolled into our sort of weekly schedules. And maybe the first consideration is, can I gain more flexibility to take care of all these other responsibilities that I have and still get my work done and be in a job where I can do my best, I can give my best, and still juggle all of these other commitments? So I think that first consideration when looking for a new job is, am I going to have increased flexibility? And if that's not that big of a priority for you, I still think that, it's going to be important to see how flexible is my employer going to be. And we're going to talk about flexibility in other ways here in just a second. The second consideration that you should probably think about is, if I switch jobs, how is that going to affect and change my insurance? And specifically here, my health insurance. That's a huge financial consideration, because you may be covered right now under a group policy under your current employer. How's your new employer's plan going to be different? Will my coverage be different? Will my premium be different? Because even though most employers right now cover a majority of health insurance premiums as a benefit of your work, they do still pass on some premium costs to the employees. So you may be in a situation right now where your health insurance is 100% covered by your employer. What if your new job, it's not 100% covered? What if you have to, out of your paycheck, cover a portion of your premiums. That's going to be an added cost. So you may be making more money potentially, but how much more if you're having to pay for a portion of your health insurance premiums? How is it going to affect your deductibles? If you get on a new health insurance plan under a new employer and you go to the doctor's office for a visit, are you going to have higher deductibles? Is it going to be an added cost for you to get lab work done, to see a specialist? Is it going to change who your provider is? Because maybe now your current doctor is not in the new insurance plan's current provider list. You may have to switch doctors. A lot of these things are going to take time, energy, and potentially money as a part of the process of getting the new job. So that could be a consideration as well. So something to do if you're in the process of interviewing, if you're in the process of talking to different HR departments, human resources departments, is ask them up front, as I continue to move through this interview process, can I get a better understanding of what insurance benefits are going to be offered to me? That way you could do a comparison with what could potentially be a new plan versus your current plan right now. Some companies, in order to cut costs, are not only passing premiums on to employees, but they are, in some situations, if it's, for example, a small business, if it's a startup, they're not offering any health insurance benefits. You may actually have to go out and buy private health insurance in the healthcare marketplace, right? So you may have to go to a Covered California and purchase your own plan. That could be a huge cost. I would hate for you to interview for a job, be so excited about the opportunity that's being offered to you. They offer it to you, you jump at the chance and then realize, oh my gosh, I have to purchase out of pocket my own healthcare insurance. And maybe you have a family, maybe you have other people you have to have insured under you, right? That would have normally been covered under a group plan, an employer plan, and now you're having to go buy it individually. It could be very, very expensive. So that's a huge consideration when you're looking for a new job. What about paid time off, right? And this has to do with flexibility again. What is your potential new employer's vacation policy? That's a huge consideration before leaving one company for another. Are they going to have a generous vacation policy, right? Maybe you have a good one right now, and then your new employer has less days off. Maybe they don't offer you paid time off, right? How do they deal with sick days? How do they deal with maybe maternity leave? If you're still, sort of growing and building your family and you're having more kids, what about maternity leave? Are they going to be flexible with that? What about holidays? Do they require you to work on holidays? And if they do, what are they paying you? Are they paying you time and a half? You get overtime, right? A lot of these sort of extra benefits are spelled out in the fine. Always check on these things before we jump at a new job. So again, what I would do is, if you're getting very close in the interview process to potentially securing a new job, I would double check that fine print. Take time off. If I'm sick, is there a bank of time that rolls over from year to year? And if I don't use it, I lose it. Do they pay me for unpaid 6 days that I don't take? Will they pay out for that? Like, there's a lot to consider when it comes to time off and how your potential new employer is going to handle that. Another consideration is, speaking of benefits, is longer term benefits like retirement. Are they going to offer me a 401k, a 403b plan? Are they going to offer me a pension? Do they have stock options? What if it's a large company? What if it's a company who's been doing very well and they offer you the ability to purchase stocks in the company at a discounted price? What tools are they going to offer me to build my retirement? How do the contributions work? Do they match? How are they matching? Are they matching up to a certain percentage of what you contribute to your retirement account? Are they matching dollar for dollar? How long do you have to work there for your money to be what we call vested, meaning that you get 100% ownership of that retirement money, having to work there for a certain period of time? So for example, some companies may say to be 100% vested and to have 100% ownership of your retirement money, you can contribute to it, we'll match, but you have to work here for at least 3 years. If you move on before 3 years, you may not be able to take 100% of that account value with you because you didn't work there for that minimum time frame. So what is the vesting period? How long do you have to work there? So again, asking for a benefits package from the human resources department at that company or whoever's in charge of that. Maybe they don't have a specific HR department. Maybe it's a manager, maybe it's the business owner. What benefits is this job going to give me long-term in terms of retirement? I think you should be looking at that sort of thing first, before, of course, you make a leap to a new job. Some companies will even provide educational benefits. This is another great thing to ask about, which I don't think a lot of employees at big companies really take advantage of. But to entice employees to stay so that they can decrease turnover and people aren't coming in and out of these jobs, one big benefit is educational benefits, where they will do tuition reimbursement. If you go back to school, if your kids go to college, some companies will reimburse up to a certain dollar amount. A lot of times employees don't take advantage of this because they just don't even know that it exists. And they don't even know it's a benefit to them. So right now, even if you're not changing jobs, if you work for maybe a national corporation or a well-known company, you may just want to check with HR or check with your higher ups to see, hey, look, if my kids go to college, do you guys help with tuition reimbursement? Is there student loan reimbursement? It doesn't hurt to ask. A lot of companies will also offer you as an employee special courses that you can take and they'll pay for it. Certificates that you can go back to, say, extension divisions at different colleges and gain different certificates, whether it's, I don't know, in computer programming or in leadership or some sort of certificate that is improving your job skills. They will pay for that. So these are things that you would definitely want to ask about in your current job if you haven't really, asked. And definitely if you're looking at a new job, you want to see, hey, is this new company going to offer me these kinds of benefits? Of course, we always think about, if I change jobs, what kind of room for growth is there going to be in terms of moving my career forward, moving my skills forward, moving my knowledge forward? Is this new company going to allow me to advance through promotions? Is it structured in such a way where I can sort of move up levels or move up the ladder in the company? And I can maybe move from entry-level positions into management or into a supervisory role where I get increased pay? Or am I just going to be in a position where I'm sort of stuck? I make what I make, and there's no room for personal growth, and there's no room for growth in income and getting pay raises. So how do the promotions work? Will you have the ability to take on different job titles and different responsibilities as you gain more confidence? What are going to be those future job positions that you could potentially move into? So sometimes I see people that will jump jobs because this new position sounds so amazing, but then they're sort of at a ceiling and they can't move anywhere from it. And they're sort of stuck in that position because the company is not structured in such a way for them to gain new skills and to move up in the company. And then they're right back to square one where they're looking again for a new job. So sort of think longer term about this new position. Is it going to allow me to grow and move my career forward? Something that we don't really think about much until we're actually in the thick of the job is company culture. What is the environment? What's the work environment that I'm going to be stepping into as I take on this new job? Consider things like diversity, the people that work there. What's the diversity of the culture in this company? Who are they hiring? Where are these people from? Are they hiring from local communities? People that I live around, commute with? Hiring in different places, right? How are you going to interact with your fellow workers, with your fellow employees? Diversity is a big deal. And in the same way, so is community. You're going to spend quite a bit of time, obviously, in a full-time or even a part-time position at a particular company. What's the community culture like? Is it healthy? Do people get along? Is it vibrant? Are they promoting healthy working habits? Are they promoting healthy workers? Like, what sorts of initiatives does the company have to keep their employees happy and thriving? That's something that we don't always take the time to sort of check out. We may say, oh, they have a great break room. they have some snack machines, they have free coffee or whatever. And that's sort of as far as we get when it comes to company culture. But I think what would be good is for you to do a little bit of research on the company, right? Look at what the internet is saying about from workers who work there. There's different kinds of immediately is one called Glassdoor, where it gives reviews from workers that have worked for major corporations. So let's say, for example, I don't know, you're thinking of getting a job with Hertz Rent-A-Car. You can go on Glassdoor and you can look up Hertz Rent-A-Car as an employer and see what have former employees said about the company and the culture there and working there and how they were treated as workers. Like, do a little bit of investigation, do some research. And I think you can be a little bit more informed about some of the culture there at each of these kinds of employers. You're at a company where you have a former colleague that now works there, or you have a friend or a family member that works there. There's no harm in seeing if they would allow you to come in and just sort of observe, quote unquote, job shadow, and just get an idea for yourself with your own eyes of what is the culture like here? Would I fit in here? Are these my kind of people? Would I? Something else to research and also consider is stability. The worst thing would be to get a new job or change jobs, and then all of a sudden being a company that's struggling and having financial issues, is maybe perhaps, not being run very well and is in danger of closing, folding, having financial issues, because then that ends up putting a lot of stress on its workers. So take some time to research the company and look for, how long has this company been around? What's their longevity? Have they been a stable company? What's their financial health? Are they in a volatile industry? Are they, I don't know, selling or making products that doesn't seem like consumers are using these? Or maybe their industry sort of ebbs and flows with different economic times, or how are the economy is going, right? So look at the actual industry. And then something personally to do is definitely prep your emergency fund. So if you're going to change jobs, regardless, even if you're going to start tomorrow at a new job, it's always good to make sure, as a just in case, in this transition, making sure that your cash reserves or your emergency fund has enough to cover expenses should there be an issue. And what do I mean by an issue? Well, we just put you on payroll and it's going to take one pay cycle to get your direct deposit set up and that sort of thing. So you work a couple of weeks and you're still not getting a paycheck, and now you got bills, or maybe you have rent. Having those cash reserves in the emergency fund to cover you while they're getting direct deposit set up, while you're waiting for that first paycheck, is going to really save you. Other times, how slowly companies move. So they may offer you a job and give you a start date, and then that start date gets delayed. So you thought you were going to start 3 weeks from now, and you leave your old job, you take a little bit of time off, and you're ready to start this new job, and they push it back and they say, look, we're not quite ready for you. Maybe in another 3 weeks, we'll start your position. So now all of a sudden you were thinking that you were going to start this job on such and such a date and start getting paid on such and such a date. And now that timeline is completely thrown off. So having your cash reserve and emergency ready for any unanticipated delays like that would be super, super important, just to your own stability, and the stability of your family and the people that are relying on your income. So that's something financially that you should prepare for, is if I'm going to make a job change, I should not do that job change with zero in savings. It may work out just fine. And I really hope that it does. But I think a better way to plan financially is, how am I going to bridge that gap in income if it were to happen, if there's going to be delays, or if there's going to be that gap between my last paycheck at one employer and my first paycheck at my new employer. Something else to consider, and we touched upon this with educational benefits, but this is more focused and targeted towards what kind of training and development could the new job give you in terms of helping you increase your on-the-job skills. Are they training you? Are they providing training sessions? Are they providing workplace education, right? Teaching you how to better, maybe more efficiently do your job and be more successful. Are they investing in your success in your position, right? Are they giving you opportunities to learn? Maybe they promote employees attending industry conferences, right? Industry-wide conferences. Are those types of things happening? Are they giving you opportunities for professional development? One of the main reasons why a lot of workers do not feel fulfilled in their job is, once they learn their job and they're doing their job, there's no room to learn more. And so they're never sort of being challenged in new ways or provided with new tools. And that's where a lot of workers sort of feel, I'm just stuck in a rut. I do the same thing. I go in, I do my 8 hours, I clock out, and there's nothing different, right? So is the company providing you with new learning experiences? Are they giving you ways to do your job better or in new ways? So look for training and development. That is another big consideration. In the end, I think after considering all these 9 financial considerations, not all of them are directly about money, but in some way they are. They're linked back to money. You have to use your intuition, right? If you've considered all of these factors, and yet in your gut, you're still sort of getting a bad vibe about the new job, don't hesitate to back out. Don't hesitate to say, whoa, I'm going to put the brakes on this. It was really exciting for a second. I had the potential for this new job, but in the end, maybe the grass is not going to be greener on the other side. And maybe I don't want to just immediately jump ship if I don't have all my ducks in a row. And I'm getting the sense that this company is not going to value me like I thought they were. Your intuition, your gut is telling you something important. And even if you can't really like verbalize it very clearly, and you can't really pinpoint what exactly it is, you have to go with intuition. And I know hunting for a new job, going through the interview process, building your resume, all those tasks along the way in that journey are exhausting. It's exhausting and it's difficult. And just getting a new job just like that is not easy. It's not easy in any industry. And I know sometimes when we get that offer, we just want to jump at it, right? But if you don't feel that it's a right fit for you and your situation, and maybe your household and the people that count on you, something is telling you that maybe perhaps you need to wait for a different offer, right? If the offer doesn't check all of these 9 boxes, that's okay too. You may just have to sort of weigh what is going to be most important to me. Is it the flexibility because I got to take my kids to school? Is it the training and development because I don't like feeling stuck? Some of us may say, you know what, I'm totally satisfied knowing the boundaries of my job, being told what I need to do, and just doing it. And people are perfectly fine with that. Other people need something different, right? So all of these 9 considerations are going to sort of be woven together differently for different people. And not every job is going to sort of check the box on all 9 considerations, but you need to at least go through the steps of thinking through these 9 to make sure that what you are considering is the best for you, right? Because that's the whole point, is moving forward in a way where we can progress, hopefully earn some more money. But if money is not the biggest consideration, moving forward and progressing in other ways, right? So yeah, I think many of us may be in a position where a new job or changing jobs could become a reality here, especially around the new year. That's typically when most people say, look, okay, 21 is done. I'm sort of done with this job. I'm going to be looking to make a change in the new year, right? Give yourself a goal. I'm going to look to try to make a change 3 months from now, 2 months, 6 months, whatever your timeline is. You have to put that out there. If you keep saying, oh, I really need to quit this job and get a new job, and you've been saying that for a long time, the big reason why you haven't made that change is because it hasn't been a goal. It's always been on your mind and it's always been stressing you out, and you've always complained about it. But I think now for this new year, for 22, if your goal is to change your job situation, you have to start planning. You have to start sort of plotting it out, right? A new job change may not just naturally appear for you, right? So you have to be sort of methodical about the process. I do know, and Lisa, you can add here, I do know that if you need assistance with maybe it's resume building, maybe it's looking for new job opportunities, I do know that Family Promise can certainly provide you resources on that. Maybe Lisa, you could say more to that.
Yeah, one of the great resources that I've encountered as of late is Verdugo Job Center and Express Employment, and also the Burbank Workforce. There's plenty of workforce agencies that are here in the area, even Pacoima, or you can even go to Burbank and Dosco and begin like a vocational class in order to get like your career started, a jumpstart career. So there's plenty of resources, and all you guys have to do is just reach out to us and ask us for what resources you guys require, and we'd be able to assist you guys in obtaining those resources.
Yeah, I mean, that's such great information. All of you know this, but I just want to repeat it that, I mean, Lisa is there to help you, and she can only better help you if she knows what you need. So feel free to reach out to her, and she'll definitely get you resources that can help you in your job search and help you making this change and help you navigate it. Because Thanksgiving is next week, the next time that we're going to meet is in December, December 9th at 6 p.m. We're going to start talking about the new year and building financial wellness for 22. 21 is already, winding down and is going to be behind us. So we want to start planning for the new year. Lisa, in between, are there other programs you want to let people know about?
Well, yeah, on December 2nd, Sylvia Gill with National Alliance on Mental Health, aka NAMI, will be introducing a program, or not introducing, I'm sorry, speaking about a program called Basics. And this is a program for parents who have children who are showing symptoms of mental health issues. So if anybody you know, or even yourself, if you're experiencing something with your child, these are parenting classes. It's just going to be an introduction session about the services and the classes that they do offer. I think it's a 6-week program that they're offering. So it's kind of like a little intro to what's going to be happening in the new year. So if any families or parents that are interested in attending and would like to sign up for the classes in January, please join us on December 6th, Thursday at 6 p.m. on Zoom.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I hope those of you that could use that as a resource will take advantage of it. I know it's going to be getting into the busy time of the year with the holidays here. And we're still going to be, trying to provide you with useful information. And I think that is going to be a great workshop. In the in-between, have an amazing Thanksgiving. We certainly here at Family Promise are grateful for all of you. We appreciate you guys being here for these workshops, coming in after a long day of work. And just know that we're thankful for you. And if there's any way in which we can help you, please reach out to Lisa, whether you email her, whether you call and try to get a hold of her at Family Promise. That's our job. So thank you guys so much for being here this evening. And I will see you in December.
All right, thank you guys. And just a reminder, for those of you who are not aware, we do have a YouTube channel. So please get on there and look at our videos, watch our videos. If you missed any of our videos, there's 2 sections, life skills and money matters workshops. So if you haven't seen, if you missed something on financial literacy, or how to build your credit, please get on FP Verdugo's YouTube channel. So I just posted it there in the chat for you guys. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening.
See everybody next time.
Bye.
Good night.